All right, greetings. Okay, I finally got online. As soon as about 15 minutes ago, I tried to go live and my internet went down. They're doing maintenance. Of course, nobody's up at this time. So it's a good time to do maintenance on everything. Luckily, it was only down for a couple or about 10 minutes, something like that. I was just about to, you know, go, activate all, just live stream and everything shut down. So who knows? Maybe it's the shadow people involved with it. So I'll make sure everything's running here before I get into everything. Okay. All right. Okay. I do Mount Shasta. I felt Mount Shasta energy. So and then there was something on the news about it, about the cloud formation that was around it. So I was like, sure. Of course, there's reptilian energies there. There's a little bit of everything out there. So I don't know. Some of these spiritual groups are. I guess there's infighting going on between whatever. It's like how's this ascension going to work when you have spiritual groups fighting among each other? Like I'm not going to go into details of that, of who it is, but there's a Mount Shasta versus somebody else. I'm not sure if Mount Shasta even cares. So yeah, it's hard for an ascension to work when you have infighting like that, but whatever works for you. So yeah, it's definitely portal energies there for sure. There's reptilians, but some of them are good. A Nation, I talked about this like ages ago. So it was a TV show back in the 80s, I think. I don't know what year. I'll bring it up, but it's basically aliens are living among people. The male alien would have a baby. It's the only thing I remember from it. I never got into it ever at all. It was a movie and it was a TV show. I never felt a good. I mean, not to say it's a bad vibe. It's just not my part of my reality. I don't think I've experienced anything like that. Not like that exactly. Probably the world I'm part of is more bizarre, but anyway, probably a bunch of mantis beings trying to make it in the world. But yeah, the Alien Nation is part of Disclosure. It's funny, during the 80s, there's some alien. You don't see anything now that's anything like that. I don't think so. Of course, the classic V TV series. It's a classic. I think it was they had a TV movie, but I believe it was a TV series where the visitors come and they bring healing devices. They're all wearing these red suits, and then it's secretly, and people start joining them. Come to find out the visitors are reptilian beings, and they tear their faces off into a reptilian being. Classic. Yeah, that's where David got all of his ideas. He stole their idea. So yeah, it's awesome. So that was, I mean, is it for the time? I mean, for the special effects and everything, it's kind of creepy actually. Yeah, then they had a reptilian baby being born. Yeah, jeez, it's like a horror movie. Technically, it is. But it's still bright. It's still quite. I mean, that now we're dealing with the conspiracy now. So yeah, I don't know. It's great. But there is reptilian beings here. You just don't see them physically. Obviously, some parents are reptilian beings. You just see their mannerisms, gangs, or have a lot of negative reptilian energy. Of course, some of those gangs are part of the Zetas also. You have a combination of energies there. But on a lighter note, the Alien Nation, I imagine there's many people connected to those dimensions for sure that are here now at some level. Um, and there's the I'll show this real quick. The screenshot of it. Was it the Last of Us? Is a TV show on HBO. It's kind of like people are turning into vegetable beings. It's just, I don't know if I'm gonna laugh. I mean, I think it's a comedy. It's like they're just taking this whole zombie thing and just beating it to death. But more power to them on that one. It's funny. Whatever. Some people are still healing from that, but it's basically people turning into nature, I guess, nature creatures. It's weird, but whatever. It's the same. It's the same. It's nature zombies, but it's the same. It's the same theme as they do with zombies. It's the same. It's the same thing over again. They just keep beating it to death. But it's what people. It's amazing how people need that. It's fascinating. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's fascinating what worlds people come from, or some are fascinated by it in general, or they've lived it. Obviously, many have lived it in some form or another. So, yeah, it's hard for us to ascend out of what we're in if many are still healing, from the realities they came from. I mean, there is an ascension. Yes, it's just very slow. It's like dead stop. But there's just a lot of clearing many need to go through. Once we get past, I don't know if we'll ever get past the whole zombie thing. Probably not. Yeah, there's still a lot. I mean, this is a zombie planet, basically. Not everybody's a zombie, but we have those energies here. Oh, well. It's always a different way of looking at things. Where are we going here? I was having Tony Comic Press sessions. We have a scheduler. We have a shop here. The shop on the... I think I'm finally in December. Of course, now I'm going out of January, but the webinar, the social network, and behind the scenes. And then, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Okay, Shasta. And there's the cloud. I've seen this before, but this is recent. Yeah, it's good vibrations overall. Yeah, I mean, there's reptilian energies here, of course, but there's a lot of that alien energy. But I would say it's like a cleanse energy. A cleanse. I mean, people go there, they bring their stuff, they bring their problems, and that's what it's there for. And they shift their frequencies there. So, yeah, it has a purpose. It just, it's always made controversial. There's Alien Nation. Then it has the TV show. It's a TV show. Mm-hmm. So, but the movie is, I don't know when that came out. I don't know when that, I will say it was the 1980s. That's a TV show. So yeah, he has a baby somewhere. That's his wife. Trying to blend in, I guess. Yeah, it's just kind of it has a weird vibe around it, but I'm not sure what's going on there. Either way. All right, anyway, what's happened to those energies? And then we got V. That's the new version. That's horrible. It's so bad. They're just showing how mediocre they are. It's like it is showing how mediocre modern times have become. But back in the 80s, just classic. I mean, it's not supposed to be, that's level. It just makes you want to make out with that. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a fascinating show overall. And definitely people, I mean, this might be too close to home. I mean, if there's, I mean, instead of zombies, and they talk about these guys, yeah, because this show just doesn't have it. It just doesn't. The vibe on this new version, it's just not there. You can put all the pretty people in there you want. It just doesn't do it. So, jeez, look at that. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, this is probably too close to home if they really took this to a whole nother level, especially that. What the hell am I looking at there? Either way, it's funny. Not as funny as, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Yeah, and this is like a comedy. Yeah, it's just like the checkbox of a zombie show, basically. It's all the same old, same old. The video game, I think, is better than the show, but the show is, whatever, same old shit. But there's not much out there, so I might have to take what you can get. So, I have a cat here walking around. Yeah, they're here. They're just quiet for now. All right. So, okay. All right. We're going to Mount Shasta, UFO energies, alienation, and I'm going to V. That should be. Where's that going to go? All those people that want all that positivity, you might want to check out on this one. Yeah, no, it's like they want to be positive, but the sense of humor is it just isn't there. It's just, I've been asked to be positive and like no sense of humor. It just doesn't exist. And if it is sense of humor, it's bad. So, all right. So, yeah, you go into the lower dimensions, you go into experience whatever you need. That's where, yeah, you add some color to yourself. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We are the Mount Shasta frequencies. Well, Mount Shasta is similar to Mother Earth. Yes, of course, it's going to be controversial because it welcomes all beings and wants to connect to everything, everyone that needs assistance. Think of like kind of like a hospital. It's not turning away anyone. It is accepting all walks of life. So it's taking, those that have injuries, those that go to Shasta need some kind of energy, rebuildment, need some kind of energy transformation. Of course, it's going to be controversial. It's because of what it can do. And every mountain has its own power, its own way of doing things. And of course, it's the people here that are ones that are infighting, not all, but some, because they get threatened. Because basically, everything works together. And it can root out the darkness. Because, of course, there's always going to be controversies and everything. But darkness does not want to be revealed. Their agendas want to stay hidden. So a place like Mount Shasta, for example, can root a lot of that out. It's like if certain individuals go there, people see them for what they truly are. So it's a good place to avoid. If you have nothing to hide going to Shasta or other places, of course, there's many places in India you can go where basically it's hard to hide agendas. So Shasta is one of many creations to just let you be as you need to be, but to allow more of our authentic energies to come through. Yes, to relax. Just, yes, bring in like the the flower child energy, the inner child to come through and just allow more of just the higher frequencies to show themselves. But the higher frequencies, yes, don't have all the answers. There's only so much you can get from it. And the lower realms here, it's just that this world has a recipe here that's very unusual to other planets. And you're not always supposed to figure everything out, of course. Yes, there is a game plan to keep people away from themselves, away from your highest potential. And you see a great deal of that. To focus on, we're not going to go into details of what, but to focus outward instead of inward. Because when society starts to focus more inward, the agendas start to fall apart. Just focusing on yourself and trusting your instincts, which many do not do. They don't trust. They still want to bite from the apple that's poisonous. Even when they feel this is probably not a good idea, they do it anyway. It's more adventurous, but they're not realizing that they're getting further away from their selves. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It just takes longer for growth. Like astrally, you see everything, but you incarnate. You say, "Oh, if I incarnate as a human, I'll figure it out," and it doesn't happen. You don't figure anything out, and you get tricked many times. And you go back into the astral realms. It's like, "Oh, I fell for that. I won't do it again." And you incarnate again, and you fall for it again. So you wonder why people come back to mass. Well, because many have unfinished business here on this planet. So it's not always the human self. There's many beings trying to program humans to keep you from figuring yourselves out, and many fall for it. Eventually, it'll connect more to your inner truth, and many are by just not caring and feeling free. Yes, going on a trip that they feel like they need to go on, or wherever it might be, or whatever it is, just not caring what other people think helps you connect more to yourself. When you don't care what others think, that shows you really are going into who you are. That's good. Others just want to go. They're not always realizing. They just want to go where others are, and they're not realizing being misled. But they don't see anything wrong with it. But they're not always realizing their inner self is a little bit worried of what others might think if they're connected to this radical group that's not just a little out there. Without going into all details. So this is green suit. We have the consciousness of the alien nation. So many yes, basically we come from another version of Earth where there's alien contact. You could say us connecting to your world was a test to see what can be brought into your reality. Eventually, this whole idea of aliens living among humans will basically, we're a hybrid race. Connected to an alien race, you can say a Tartarian race. It's even a feline. We have feline energies too. But basically, the aliens and the alien nation. Now, many can come up with whatever name they want to. We're not going to go by that at this time. But basically, it's basically alien groups are testing out where humans are for alien contact. And us living among you and not making a big deal about it. And where can that go? Now, humans are over the whole alien connections, and now we're living. And there are realities, plenty of them, where aliens and humans are connecting to each other. Your world is obviously, well, it's up to your collective. You might think it's all government. Not really. It's really up to the collective. Does the collective want this type of interaction? You might want to watch it on TV and just like, It's another way of trying it out. And obviously, men are not quite ready for it yet. Because if that was the case, you'd be living it right now. I mean, technically, you are living it, but not at the level of where, yes, there's spaceships here, and literally you can tell there's an alien here. Obviously, humans are bringing out the inner alien within themselves. So that's a version of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if, yeah, it's just you're doing your own thing. And being the alien here is, yes, I mean, you have to dress up all alien crazy, but just be yourself. But some want to go hardcore. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's not easy being an alien human here. But over time, they'll become there. Yeah, there'll be a trendy time where people and aliens, people dressing up like, tattoos, crazy hair, and really, because you already see the gender situation going on. Eventually, you'll have more of the alien genders coming. You already see the alien genders already, but more of the alien of, civilization. It just hasn't quite unleashed itself. Yes, of course, there's going to be manipulations. You are on your planet. There's always going to be something, but for people to be able to come out and say that they're alien is a big deal publicly, and for society, not necessarily is going to accept it, but at least conversation starts. And yes, it will ruin careers, it will be rocky, but eventually society will start to adjust as adjusting everything else. Of course, realize there will be an agenda behind it if that ever happens. Or basically people will start talking about their alien selves, past lives. And that will happen eventually. And there'll probably be a lot of propaganda connected to it. But at least realize it's never always going to be as easy as you like it to be. But at least it shows you're going into an era of more of this awakening. But the only issue with that is alien religions are going to skyrocket. That's where a lot of manipulation will be. We'll be in the media also. Greetings. The consciousness of V. Yes, a TV show. Yes, there is reptilian, of course, energies. You can say it's, yes, testing the waters, but also showing you what's here. So it is disclosing of what's here. Now they're going to reveal their reptilian selves. No. But you can see it in how they act. Of course, it's in higher ranking individuals, of course. Well, they want to show that they have power here. And they're not going to walk around in red clothing or suit. They don't want you to know who they are. But they're here. They're reptilian beings as humans, plenty. There's other aliens here, of course. The reptilians here can be very ruthless as business people. Very selfish in themselves. Do they get karma for it? Sometimes. Well, they find ways of putting karma on other people. They have ways of doing it. You imagine you put a lot of effort into that. They still get some karma, but nothing like everybody else. But also the human collective has to agree upon it. It's like, wait, you can't give me karma. All of them agreed upon it. It's their problem now. But of course, there's a lot of manipulations that get you to agree upon it, or you just forced on it, like, yes, vaccine situations. There are ways of manipulation. Well, it's basically humans are guinea pigs, not all, but many. So we are seeing the many alien agendas here. Yeah, see how far they can get until humans start to wake up, truly wake up to the alien invasions. Now, yes, of course, there are good alien beings here. but they lose a lot because humans fall for all the manipulation, not all, but a good deal. Well, it's a powerful trickster frequency here. So yeah, you can kind of close your eyes and feel the alien presence here. And there is, yes, alien beings that truly feel they have this world figured out in their pocket and do whatever they want with it. And humans are not quite sophisticated yet to break free of it. Does the world have to have problems forever? No, but it's set up where that can happen forever due to the collective that's been brought here. There's so many collectives that are incarnated here that are lost, and so it makes it easy. So when you bring in incarnated beings here that are easy to manipulate, it weakens the consciousness here. And humans just have, and those of you that want to be empowered, connect to your energy, are weakened by those that are draining your frequency, the vampires that are here. And many aren't, the collective isn't always aware. So it's basically your world is designed to stay in the low frequencies. Let's put it that way. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way. But your collective is not quite. Some of you are figuring it out. There's not that many. There's more of a majority. It's just the world is being weaponized by the human collective, the belief systems. Many are focused on material possessions, materialism. There's nothing wrong with those things, but when you're overly, when that's all you care about, which is part of growth, many do snap out of, like many incarnate here, and they after they exit the world, it's like, wow, I went through that. I was part of that system, part of the slave system, had no idea. And then they incarnate a little bit more awakened, and they do help society awaken itself. Others that say, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to come back here. But when you see the good they have done here, they do come back. It all depends. Yeah, sometimes this world is a little bit of a wash because it's like there's no winning here, but you still assist it in some form. But that's the World War III energies. Basically just lowers, when they talk about World War III, it just lowers the frequency. That's why they do it. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but they are saying, oh, by the way, we can do this. Not really. But they just, it's just propaganda. So things.